The fourth technique is the technique that Hogan used, which is a combination of the gravity swing and a forearm lash from the right arm. Now, he started the delivery with the counterfall in the mass rotation, and then coming into impact, he put a slap on it with the right forearm. Where he came in and spanked it with his forearm coming into impact. Said he wished he had 3 right arms. Hogan had a problem in his early days of taking the club back too far. He pulled it back with his hands and got it pointed at the ground at the top of the backswing. If you look into his first book called Power Golf, you can see that club shaft pointed at below where John Daly takes it back, almost at 430. When he moved, it caused a pitch out. And the club's not going to pitch out, recock, and release again. You only get one chance per swing to release it. You can snap hook the daylights out of it doing that. He knew the club shouldn't go back that far. So but it went back that far because he took the golf club back incorrectly with his hands and forearms. Modern day players move the club back with their core muscles instead of with their hands and forearms. Instead of changing his origin of takeaway to his core, like the modern day players do, he fixed the overswing problem a different way. He clamped his right arm to his body, figuring that if he never let the elbow leave his side, the club wouldn't drop below parallel in the backswing because it would hit him in the back before it did. He basically made the elbow the shoulder. How many major league pitchers do you see throw from there? So if you see Hogan, it's like a Tyrannosaurus. This is as long as his arms were. We were taught that way because he had incredible influence on the game. He came back after a wreck that no one should have walked away from in 1949. And getting up in the morning and soaking his legs in Epsom salts for an hour and taping his legs from his ankles to his hips and going out and dragging his legs behind him. And played some of the best golf anybody had ever seen doing that. And he compounded the mystery around him by not talking to anybody. You know, he just withdrew. And people became real curious. It's like, well, you know, obviously you've got the secret. And, you know, give it up. And when he came out and wrote the Modern Fundamentals of Golf, the whole world bought into everything he said. He said, go out there and stick these handkerchiefs under your arms and learn to play from here. I've been teaching golf over 30 years, and I'll tell you, you put a woman, put her arms down, and see, Hogan I knew Hogan. I used to teach in Fort Worth for a long time. He used to send me students. He had a great set of hands and wrists and forearms. But he could draw back and play from this elbow down position, come into impact, and put this big lash on it. A woman that has no strength in her hands and forearms, or somebody getting up in years, can't come in and lash it. You put them in an elbow down position, they're lucky if they can hit the ball 200 yards. A woman playing from there is lucky if she can hit it 175 yards. So there is tremendous advantage to letting those arms go fully, because when the arms go to the full height of the arc, they develop momentum as they start down and decrease the need to add muscle into impact. Hogan's arms started the delivery from such a low position. Instead of them being able to develop momentum coming down by falling from a greater height, he had to lash them. Now when you lash them like that coming into impact, it causes a jump in the plane, and it'll make it move over the top. His compensation to that was to weaken the grip, to keep it from going to the left. He became so adept at doing that and did such fantastic things with the physical handicaps that he endured that he became the authority on the golf swing. Hogan, in the middle 50s, that was the book my grandfather started me out of, was the 5 Fundamentals of Modern Golf. he'd stick handkerchiefs under my arms and get me up there and turn my knees in and my elbows in like this, and he'd say, "Move." I go, "Paul, I can't move from here. I'm stuck." He says, "Move, damn it." And he had me in all these positions where I couldn't do anything. Of course, I didn't stay with that very long. See, and the irony is that when Nicholas came along, people attacked him for his flying right arm. They said, "Well, you're not supposed to let that arm go up there like that. Ben Hogan says you're not supposed to do that." He said, "Well, it just feels good to me, so I do it." The irony of history sometimes is that things that happen, the order in which things happen determine how can change the course of history. And so, we might never have seen the steamship if oil had come along first or something. So, things are really weird like that. But by virtue of the fact that Hogan came before Jack, he got the nod from the whole world as being the authority on swing mechanics. And then Jack never could explain to anybody why he did this. So he never was the authority on swing mechanics like Hogan was. Hogan's book was considered the Bible of golf instruction.